So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zhu Guorui, comes from Tianjin University, China. My presentation is about the biaxial freighting of the zirconium alloys in high temperature pressure water and interfacial material transfers and substrate fatigue. So my background also focus on the nuclear industry, and now we have been to the third generation and fourth generation for the nuclear industry, and it is very useful and important because it provides a virtual low carbon base load electricity, producing the virtual no carbon dioxide emission. It is critical for achieving the carbon neutrality and enabling the global energy transition. So we focus on the equipment safety in the nuclear industry. So the nuclear reactor, it is a core. It is very important in the equipment process. And we focus on the zirconium alloys cladding tubes, which can be the barrier between the nuclear fuel and the coolant. But we have two questions to solve. The first question is about the freighting wear. So freighting wear is generated by the vibration. The flow-induced vibration serves as a key excitation source for both gray to rod freighting and the foreign objects with the two bundles interactions. Also, we have the chlorine problems. The primary circuit contains a high temperature pressure, the boric acid solution with strong corrosiveness. So we want to solve these two kind of problems to make sure the cladding tubes it is safe. But for the freighting damage, we still have some problems. We should check the mode of the freighting damage. Generally, we can separate the freighting damage as the tangential freighting, the radial freighting, even some rolling and the torsion freighting. But due to we focus on the vibration message, so we can have two kind of forces, which comes from the normal direction and the tangential direction. That means we should follow the impact. Actually, that is the tangential, and we should focus. The sliding, that is the tangential freighting, and the impact, that should be the radial direction. So we combine them together and focus on the freighting damage. And then we focus on the freighting wear, freighting corrosion, and freighting fatigue. But till now, the current research, we still have two kind of questions. Firstly, the current data, we still lacking some data in these two sides. We are generally focusing the material properties, so we only have one direction data. And besides, generally, we use R-chart model to make the direction, but R-chart model only follow one direction. It is very dangerous if we use this kind of prediction model to determine the life of for our tubes. So we spend a lot of time on this device design, and we set up, this is third vision actually in our group. And for this equipment, for these devices, we can use the linear motor as the driver. And we have two linear motors actually, because we want to have the sliding force, we want to have the impact force. And of course, they are perpendicular to each other, but we can change the angle actually. And then we can input the message as a quantitative message, but we also can input the random message, which describe the vibration. We use a PSD as input. And with the help of this, we can do some experiments in the autoclave, and we can control the temperature reach to 350 degrees centigrade and even to 20 megapascal to simulate the real case in the primary circuit. And then we can have the control gambit. We use PID to control the adjustment and follow the use the sensor to follow the displacement, the normal force, the tangent force, and then we can control the message and record the message. And finally, we have the water chemistry loop. We can control the oxygen concentration even to ppb level. So that is very useful for the simulation, the real case. Okay, so this is our devices. And then we can do the experiment in this way. We have tubes as shown here, the yellow part, and this is the real one. And then we can have different shapes as the antibody. And we can have a lysine, we can have the sphere, rectangle, different shapes to simulate the supporters or some foreign objects actually. And then we can first we should check the material properties. And here we use the zirconium materials. And it is enriches. And in the axial direction, it has different force properties actually. It is very interesting. And we also follow the green boundaries to check the green structure in the beginning. And then we can do some experiments now. We change the circle from 0 to 200,000 circles. And then we can have the displacement and friction forces every time. And then we can have the loops. So from the beginning, we can show here that is a right loop. That is the parallelogram. That means in the fritting wear, it is the gross loop. And then as we increase the circles, then it change to some shark loops. That means it go to the mixed fritting. From gross slip and go to the mixed fretting means the mechanisms change from the abrasive wear to the adhesive wear. That means the mechanism has been changed. That is interesting. We want to follow. We want to solve why this happened. And then we change some parameters here. We change the sliding mode and impact sliding mode. We also change normal force and the displacement in the tangent direction. And it is very interesting. In the when we compare A and B, we can check they are both sliding wear mode. We can check an increase in displacement amplitude from 50 micrometer to 100 micrometer results. They are when the amplitude increase, but the force also increase. And we compare C and D, they have the same rule. But when we compare B and D, that means we change the mode. We have the impact here, and we can check. Although we have the impact force, we change the impact force, but it's almost the same. That means the normal direction message has limited influence on the tangent direction. Okay, that is not enough. So we want to check what happened on the scarf on the surface. So for the point contact fritting wear, we can have the ellipsoidal shape scars, and then compare the different mode. This is the first one is sliding and impact sliding. We can check the impact sliding has the biggest scars. That means that it has the most serious damage. But we can compare the debris. That is very interesting. For the sliding wear, we have a heavy debris accumulation, but on the impact, there is no debris accumulation. But we combine them together, we have slight debris accumulation. That means the tangent friction dominates material loss, and the normal direction, the normal load application determines the displacement pathway of the wear debris. Okay, and then we make a calculation with the white light. We can get the depth of the scars and the volume. So from the results, we can check with the impact and sliding wear mode, we can have the biggest depth. And with the sliding wear, we can have the obvious debris accumulation. And compare the volume, we can check. When we have the impact sliding wear, it is almost 8 times of the summary of the impact and sliding. That means the generalistic interaction between the impact and sliding significantly accelerate the material damage. Okay, and then we want to check what happened in the micro view. And here we can check for the impact sliding wear, we have the fatigue cracks and spoiling. So the cracks generated and propagate and then spoiling. We have some pits here. And the dominant wear mechanism can be identified as the fatigue wear and adhesive wear, which is consistent with the sharp loops we already have. And then we cut it and have the cross-section view. This is the first one, that is the sliding wear. We can check we have damage on the surface, and we have some cracks, obvious cracks. And for the impact one, this is the impact one, there is almost no cracks and only a small deformation for this case. And if we combine them together, it's the impact sliding wear. We can see we have first a very big plastic deformation, and then we can have some obvious cracks generated, and the high temperature water penetrated through the cracks network and oxides the substrate. Also, the cracks can be intersection together and branch. And that is not enough. We also follow what happened. We test the element around the cracks, and we can check, compare with the basement, the oxygen, the cracked part has obvious oxygen increase. That means this area we have some, we should pay attention to this area. It's very dangerous. And then we use the EBSD to check the green, what happened to the green. We can compare with the original material and check the low angle grain increased, and the grain fragmentation observed around the scar. And in the red dashed circle, it indicates the intergranular fatigue cracks, and also from the green area, that is the strain concentration. Okay, and then we want to describe what happened for the three modes. We have the tangent direction, the normal force, and combined together, we think in the tangent direction force, in this case, we have some debris accumulation, and we have some cracks appeared, and we have the tensile deformation. And the only impact, so there is only the deformation and some string change. But when we combine them together, the debris transfer will greatly affect the volume, the scar results. So we have the cracks, we have the deformation, we have the stress, we have the string problem, and the mass transfer. That is not enough. We go to the canter body, and we want to check what happened to the canter body. And from the 3D views, we can check the heat map of the canter body, and it reveals that the localized evaluations above the substrate level. Also, we check the element; it's also changed, so that is corresponding to what happened in our cladding tubes. So this accumulation also constant with the minor debris accumulation observed in the 3D view. And this is what happened, and we want to make some calculation. The best thing that we have the data, because we can follow the forces every time, and we can maintain the force during our freighting process. And but the interesting thing that with the same force input, but the displacement has been decreased. We are very interesting about these results because it maybe show the change, the contact change between the canter body and the tubes. Then we analyze, maybe that is the contact stiffness has been changed. So to maintain the input dynamic load, and the system automatically adjusts by reducing the displacement. Okay, so that is very interesting, and we can use this data to make a further prediction model, and maybe it is still on the way, so maybe next year I can share this part results. And then I have the conclusion here. First, we have environment to simulate the real case, what happened, including the impact force and including the chemistry loops. And then we want to analyze what happened in the normal direction and the tangential direction and combine them together, what happened. And finally, the oxidation problem will affect the cracks path. The debris also will affect the scarf. In the future, I want to make a prediction mode to make a prediction for what happened in the vibration message input for the freezing wear. Okay, this is some publication, and thanks to my group, Professor Tan Wei, and my master and PhD student. Thank you for your attention.